Yeah, 25 seconds.
All right, we'll call this meeting of the Brown County Commission to order. Commissioner Feldheim, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. First on the agenda, we've got Lisa German and Susan Corder with Northeast Mental Health.
Good morning.
How are you guys this morning?
Morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. I'll just pass around the statistics that we typically give you guys. I should make it all the way around. So as you can see, our numbers have increased in the past year of numbers of people that we've served here in Brown County. We've kind of seen that overall over all of our counties, but especially in Brown County. One of the most active parts of our service here in Brown County is our emergency service. In addition to our outpatient counseling that we do, we see people here at the jail and JDC, and then we also do a lot of on-call assistance with the Sheriff's Office and the Police Department. As you've seen in the news, there's been an increase in mental health concerns with a number of individuals in ties with substance abuse disorders and things like that. So we've been very, very busy and feel like we have a great working relationship, especially with the Sheriff's Department. They work with us a lot on IVCs and transporting people back and forth to Yankton. So I can't say enough about Tom Schmidt. He's been great to work with. So that's very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you guys have questions?
Questions from the commissioners?
The numbers just keep going up. I know Gary and I were at the National Association of Counties Convention in Long Beach a couple weeks ago, and that there were multiple breakout sessions throughout the 4 days regarding mental illness and how the problem continues to escalate. And counties nationwide are the largest housers of mental, people that are affected by mental illness, because we house, the inmates and county jails are responsible for all that. So it's a huge responsibility that's put back on counties across the country. So it's a big issue. It's getting worse.
Absolutely. The jail is currently working on some new training material that they want to implement for some suicide risk assessment, which is nice. So we're going to work with them and do some training with their staff. And then another good point I thought was that they've been active in mental health first aid training. We recently did a training for law enforcement across the state, and a lot of the county participated in that. So that was good. Good awareness and education.
I've been on that board for 22 years, Northeastern Mental Health Board, and I got to compliment these two. They have just done wonders and brought more awareness and just been more cooperative with the different agencies. So thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Keep up the good work.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you bringing us the updated numbers and be in touch.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
You too.
All right, why don't we go to your list, Maxine?
Okay, minutes from August 2nd.
Move.
Moved by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
Move. I had a question on one.
Okay.
Remember what it was?
Oh, the chamber thing, I think.
Oh yeah, that we were going to take care of.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
And the other one was your question, the entrance, and we had
Yeah, we had
figured
that
out.
answered,
Yep.
right. Okay, we're holding.
So motion by Hanson,
Second.
second by Sutton. Any other questions on those?
There is still with Sundial.
The payroll. Right there.
Yeah. Erin made the corrections or marked her sheet on Encode as, that they were correct. She didn't mark here the incorrect ones. there's still a problem with the reports not tying together.
Did you talk to her about that so that she knows what?
She knows, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing Erin did, it's just that she marked them, she didn't mark them in here.
Okay.
She would have to mark them twice, so you're not seeing the sticky notes
Oh,
where there's all kinds of corrections that have to be made on Sundial because
Okay.
the correct balances for sick leave and vacation do not flow through the system.
and we'll get that all probably worked through.
Glitches?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's still glitches in it. I just wanted you to know that there's
Okay.
still
Okay,
glitches in it.
thank you.
All right, any other questions on the claims and payroll? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Employee step increases.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, seconded by Hanson. Questions? In favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Employee classification change for state's attorney secretary to legal secretary. I meant to look up the effective date because that happened during a step increase and I didn't realize the wage was being set different. So that would be effective June 19th.
Okay.
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, seconded by Hanson. Questions on that change? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There was an overtime request for 4-H employees during the fair.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Feldheim, seconded by Hanson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Fireworks display permit application for the Brown County Fair.
Move.
Moved by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Feldheim, and that's Saturday of the fair? Saturday night?
Yes.
20th, right?
Gotcha. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There's a grant sub-award agreement for the 2017 Emergency Management State and Local Performance Grant.
Move.
Moved by Hanson.
Second.
Seconded by Feldheim. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Earlier this year, we did half of the operating transfer from general to highway, and I would suggest we do another portion of it, $1,109,375, and that would leave $1 million left to transfer.
Okay.
What's the amount again?
$1,109,375.
Move.
Moved by Hanson,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Any questions on that operating transfer? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion
Okay.
carries.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Also, for the highway, an auto budget supplement, the money they received for the Crow Creek structure, James River Water Development was $259, $281.61, and DENR, that other program, was $112, $153.80. Since these came from two governmental entities, you don't have to publish it, you can just do the auto supplement. Will increase the estimated revenue and the spending authority.
Good. I'll move that.
Moved by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Feldheim. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There is a plat, it went through the planning commission last month, but the taxes weren't paid at that time. They've since paid the taxes, so now the plat can be completed.
That must have clipped that way.
Yeah.
I'll move it.
Moved by Hanson,
Second.
seconded by Feldheim. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Sheriff's report?
Moved by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Any questions on that report we got from the sheriff's office? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There is a list submitted by Sheila for employees to work the ticket booths during the fair. And Harry, do you remember that wage?
14, I don't have it in front of me, 1460,
Oh, I can get it later.
yeah,
Okay.
it's 1461, I believe.
Okay.
I'll move it.
Okay,
Second.
motion by Sutton, seconded by Hanson to approve those folks to help during the week of the fair. Is there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There's a lease agreement for the clubhouse.
Moved.
Moved by
Second.
Callahan, seconded by
That was for
Sutton.
last week.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
That's it. I will look through the fair contracts to make sure we don't need a motion on any of them.
Anything? Okay. Gary, did you have anything for us this morning?
I sent you a note that we were offered a 12-person bus. Just to give you a few more details on it, it was a 1995 E350 Ford Collins bus. It has 109,015 miles on it. It was being offered to us, but it said mechanically it needs some service work for air conditioning and would need a good mechanical review. I don't know if that was something you'd be interested
Sounds
in
like a good surplus.
taking
ride for the
on or
city.
not.
My thought is say thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Sounds like another money pit.
We will let them know. Max had sent out a note about the Roberts County District meeting Thursday the 18th. We're supposed to RSVP by tomorrow. I don't know who.
That's during
if
the
anybody
fair,
was
right?
During the
interested.
fair, I won't be able to make it.
Yeah, I assume that.
I think most people, that's going to
Yeah.
be the case, so,
Yeah.
all right.
I'll RSVP that.
Should have them hold it over here at the fair.
Yeah.
Then we could all make it.
Send an invite.
I don't know if you wanted to discuss the ambulance quote issue any farther.
Wait till Barry comes in, maybe.
Okay.
And maybe we need to get John up here too, when Derek comes in to talk
All right.
about that, because I think we just had some questions and need some clarity on that.
Sounds good. That's all I had, except for an exec session, but we can wait probably. That'll be in for that.
Anybody have anything, Larry?
I didn't get my note down to people for advance approval for travel, but last week after the meeting, Chris and the AG's office were discussing when they could get together and go through all the audio-visual stuff and exhibits and all that stuff. Well, the stars aligned, everybody could do it yesterday morning up here. And so Chris and Christy Vedder went there to get that part organized for the trial. So you'll see something come through as far as paying mileage and stuff for that. So
Is that in preparation for the trial at the end of the month here?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up on that.
I wonder if we should do general, for, if there's going to be quite a bit of traveling,
For just the,
because it's going to be unexpected, it's going to try and coordinate. Can we do a motion that to accept the traveling for,
you don't need a motion. You
Just put it on the travel
sheet
sheet.
next week.
that sound okay with you, Larry?
that'd be great. And
Okay.
of course, it won't not be just staff too. We'll have witnesses. We've got to get out there. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and the sheriff will be coming and going for different purposes, and so.
I think that'd
I'll
probably be easier.
put it on next week.
Thank you.
Because a lot of times you may not even know until the day before that you have to have people out there, so
Yep.
it's spur of the moment stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else from the commissioners? Anything in general before we get to, got about a minute before our next agenda item? Good morning, Dirk.
Dirk?
Probably close enough. If anybody has issues, they'll be here shortly. So
Right.
9 o'clock, right-of-ways for CenturyLink and any other issues.
The right-of-ways for CenturyLink, he dropped off 16 of them in one pile. It's part of expanding the rural broadband. So these are kind of out there and there's a couple around town, but for the most part, they're kind of out in obscure spots. But we started going through them. Out of the 16, there's only 7 that are only on the county roads. The rest of them are on township stuff. And then there was 2 that were combined, so I'm going to bring back 2 more next week. But these are the 7 that, the way he had it set up, or the permits are exclusively on the county roads. And I don't know if you want to do each one, or you want me to go through all 7 of them and then do them collectively. There's no
Just do all 7 and we'll do them
physical
collectively.
issues with them. It's just you guys should know where they are.
What are they going under?
Everything's boring, and it's just expanding and updating the existing broadband capacity. And I don't know if this is part of a federal regulation thing where they're trying to expand it out, you know, in the rural areas, but that's basically what they're doing, is they're expanding the broadband capacity in some rural areas.
I know for many years they had sent in their billing bundle, get your internet and but anybody that called out in the rural areas, they couldn't bundle.
Or
They
they-
didn't
Oh,
have-
really?
Yeah.
Just
Maybe
didn't have
this
the
will help
capacity?
that.
All right, well, the first one is just north of County Road 13 here, right south of Ordway. Or north of Prairiewood, however you want to look at it. It's the first 2 miles north of 13, right here.
Okay.
Or, excuse me, I'm on the wrong 13, that's why I can't make it come out right. Prairiewood going north.
Now the Prairiewood residents will have enough broadband.
That's right.
No comment.
We got one on road right in front of the West Ethanol plant. It goes over to that 12WB, which is by Arms Oil there. So comes about 3,000 feet east and west over to that intersection and then up to US 12. And then there's another one that starts at US 12 and just goes up Road 6. 3 miles. 1, 2, 3. Then there's another line they're doing in here, but it's on the township road. Everybody keeping up so far?
We are.
Taking notes.
Okay, 3, 6, and 7. There's another one that starts a mile south of the Greasy Spoon down there, 23 and Road 6, and goes 1, 2, 3, 4 miles north. 5 miles north, to a mile north of Road 6C, goes over to the church there. So there's one in there. Okay, and then on over here, on our little road 2, that jogs clear on the west side, they got a little bit they're putting on this east-west piece right here, going over to the bridge, and then they're putting a new pedestal a mile north of there in the ditch, but there's no boring there between the two of them.
You're putting it in the ditch?
Well, yeah, it's just an update of the existing pedestal. What I'm getting at is they're not running any line there, they're basically taking off the old pedestal and putting on the new one. This is really exciting.
I'm just so thrilled.
This is the kind of stuff that excites you.
Well, I was kind of happy that 9 of them weren't on the county system, to be honest, because we'd be here another 10 minutes, but... there's one down here. It's a good thing Commissioner Fishback isn't here. Right at, is it at 10? 8. It's a mile over from 10. So it's on this gravel 21 that goes from the Nahon corner over to 281. And second mile in, they're just putting a short run and a new pedestal in there. Right across from the airport or whatever's down there.
Internet service for the airport down there.
Yeah.
As much as you can.
Okay. And then this one goes from the Bath corner down to 136, so that's 1, 2, 3 miles. Straight down there. And same thing, it's all just updating existing things and expanding the infrastructure so it'll carry a little more. I don't know enough about how broadband works to know that specifically, but So there's no problems with any of them.
All right, I entertain a motion to approve all 7 of those right-of-way occupancies. Moved by
Second.
Feldheim, seconded by Hanson. Is there any questions on it? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
That's all I had going on for official stuff. You guys
No
got
other excitement?
Oh, we're doing stuff. We're coming down to the home stretch on, well, I guess geographically we still have quite a little paving to do in here. But we're basically going to be working on 11 and 18. We've already kind of started. We're trying to get 11 east of Columbia, figure out what we can salvage there. And we milled a bunch of this up, and Jacobs is up there helping us lay it back down right now, getting it ready so we can pave it. And we're going to seal some of it, and some of it's going to get left because it's now gotten so dry that you can't tell where the bad spots are anymore. And I know there's a spot that went through a slough that's dry that I'm not real excited about paving that mile. So we might let that set a year and see what happens. So there's some stuff like that, but that's all going well. We got the bridge it's the first bridge over the Crow Creek after you come out of the Renzihausen Slough. We got that replaced. So it was like a 45-footer. It was kind of a little one. Sometimes on those lengths we'll put in pipe, but that wasn't a real good area to be messing with the hydrology because of what the Crow Creek has done. So we just put back the same thing that was there. It's a clear span bridge, about 45 feet. And now they're down on 23, right there where the mud comes across, a couple miles west of Fernie, and same company, Holloway, is replacing that bridge down there. That one's 85-footer, and that's going to be steel. That's a little bit different. The one that they did up here is the precast, where you put in your berms and then set down on your piling with the concrete members. You know, it's a real quick and pretty. We have quite a few of them. This particular one is a modular bridge that comes in 8-foot pieces, but it's steel. And what it allows them to do is, as you might imagine, as you span out with your concrete beams get bigger and bigger. And the same thing happens with steel. But they do this, they can do a little longer because the steel's lighter. When you get out to those massive concrete beams, you need a pretty massive crane to handle them. So that's sort of their limitation, is what the crane will hold in terms of how big a bridge you can build with that. So they've come up with this other system here. Now this is the first one they've ever done. I've seen this product before, and I've seen the bridges build. This is the first one that they've done, which I hope for a variety of reasons, I hope it works. But if it turns out to be a viable option, it's something that gets bid through True North Steel here in Tank and Culvert, so it just comes in with our regular bid stuff, and we have a hourly bid from them, to do the work. But it will allow them to get a lot longer spans that company can do if it works out. So that's what's going on there.
So what's the price on an 85-foot bridge on
That
something like
one's $345, I think.
When are they going to do that?
It's right now.
When will it be done?
Probably 4 or 5 weeks.
So they'll I'm thinking if 16 gets working on, for the farmers to haul out to 37, at least they could go that way if they had to.
Yep, we have we remain, I don't call them detours because 100% by the legal definition they're not.
Yeah.
But we have a road we're maintaining to get them around the bridge that we've coordinated with the township, and we put gravel on it and dust proofed in front of people's houses and things like that. So.
Well, maybe 16 won't get started in time.
Let's see, that's gonna
Shock.
22nd or 23rd. We're gonna have the pre-con for that. I gotta look at my calendar. I can't remember, but it's one of those 2 days for that, and then they'd start shortly after that.
Okay.
So we'll probably have a little overlap there, but I don't think it'll be huge, and I don't think they're gonna tear up the road the first day they're on the Road 16 project. They gotta strip topsoil and things like that first. So.
Sounds good.
I think what else? Oh, the landfill road blew up. That was kind of awesome. So we spent 2 days digging that out. And
Where did it blow up?
right between the two driveways at Concord Grain. So it's something that's been in the process. That we built that road when Russ was here, so it was 2000 and 2001. So we did get 15, 16 years out of it so far. And that was, we started that from scratch. That was a prairie trail before that. So we dug that out, and it's in total temporary shape right now, but we threw a lot of rock back in there. So that'll have to be something that we address. I don't know if we'll do anything extravagant before the year's out, but if not, we'll have to do some pretty solid upgrade on it next year, because I don't think it'll hold up still. So,
Okay.
you guys got anything exciting?
Nope. Just getting ready for the Brown County Fair.
Yep. Yeah, we're all putting the finishing touches on the parking lot for now. And we're going to have some pumps at the ready in case we get a 2-3 inch rain out there, because I don't think that water is going to migrate out there fast enough, and I don't want to flood Centennial Village because we filled in the slough, so.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Those roads that are ground up, do they ever get back and bladed on those? Can you blade that ground up road?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Ten is starting to get a little rough in spots, getting beat out in certain areas, and I mean, it's not bad. That's why I was wondering, do they not want to blade that?
you kind of go and tell exactly what you're describing, and because depending on how tight the top is, you know how tight that top was when you're done, so you're probably going to make it worse when you're blading it, but once it unravels a little bit and you got something to work with. The other thing is shoot a little water on it and maybe cut an inch or something off to relay it, but I can have Dave come up there because it's got to be about time to reblade them.
It's getting a little rough in spots, and you can see, like, you know, it's beat
Little
down now.
chunk
There's chunks coming up where, you know, it's just starting to get washboardy, like rough. That's why I was wondering if they,
Yep.
you'd like not to blade them, or
You'd let it go as long as you can, and then we probably should put a little gravel back on top of it again, you know, and add a little more, which brings back all your dust and stuff, but it probably needs some more
well, it
gravel.
seems like the edge has got some loose stuff on it now.
Maybe just bring it in.
Yeah, you know, the guy would probably just, I don't know how to hold up, but I guess I'm not a road guy, but there is loose stuff on the sides now. When you drive, you can feel that it's a little.
I'll Dave run up there.
I think you maybe are a road guy, Doug.
Well, you know, you just kind of look at it, and you can kind of see what's going on. I mean,
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't go to. There's no class that you take anywhere for book wise that talks about gravel as a surfacing, and it's kind of a funny thing because, you know, there's lots of stuff about using it as a structural thing to build with it, but they don't take engineers and set them down in a room and talk about how you blade a road. And you know, the guys that know that are the guys like Bruckner and Darrell Lloyd and guys like that. So, yep.
Sounds good. Any other questions for Dirk? Well, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Dirk.
it.
You bet. You guys have a great day.
You too.
You as well.
Next on the agenda, we got Derek Ritchie, Fair Manager, to talk about temporary hires during Fair Week. Derek, are you with us?
I am.
Good morning.
Have a good one, Dirk.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Flamingos.
Big mango.
$3 on the discount rack. A guy can't go wrong. You know?
Being serious, I actually like the shirt. Morning, everybody.
How are you?
We're a light one, okay? That means I'll have an extra copy, but that's okay. Well, we're at that time of year, fast and furious. I went from taking a drink from a fire hose to taking a drink right out of the hydrant. So, first thing that we'll talk about is hiring temporary employees. What I would like to do with the commission's approval is to convert the sanitation contract, which used to be an independent contract, to temporary hires for the week of. We were not successful in obtaining.
I mean,
Those should be passed
these
around.
one each?
Those one each, yep. Those are going to be one each, and these will be one for each individual person. There should be one for office staff and one for,
Oh, wait a minute.
one for office, there's one
Did
staff.
we do this again?
I think this happens every time with you.
So we give all these sheets back to someone?
Everyone gets one of those and one of those, yep.
But Greg got something
There's
different.
office worker, here's office.
There's an office workers stack, and then there's a sanitation stack.
I got sanitation. I just need an office.
Here's an office.
You got sanitation?
I have nothing.
There's sanitation.
I need a sanitation.
Okay.
You need to keep your office, Nancy.
Where? Have office.
There's the
There's
that
office.
came out. We
I need sanitation. It's such a game.
All right, now, these go, one packet to everybody.
And they're extra.
This is
One
for-
packet.
one packet to
That's all
everybody.
for you.
One
That's
packet,
for sanitation.
That's all for you.
one packet.
One packet.
How many pages are in
One
the
packet.
packet? 3?
Should be 3. Yeah. And then one for Gary.
Gary,
Everybody have one?
And one
No,
for Larry.
Gary?
It's got 4.
There you go.
thank you.
Four.
Okay, I have
One
2
more.
extra sanitation. Who
Okay.
does not have a sanitation?
Tom, you don't care.
Tom, and then Larry. Yep.
Larry.
Okay.
We'll just lay them there so you can have them.
Here's another extra office.
And here's an extra office for,
Okay. All right, personal talk sanitation.
okay.
Historically, everybody's got a packet?
Yes.
Okay. Historically, we've hired an independent contractor to work it, and earlier in the year, they had let us know that they were not going to be able to do that. We worked with trying to secure an additional sanitation independent contractor, and were unsuccessful. We reached out to a group that was looking to do recycling with us, and asked them if they would be interested in also doing the sanitation portion. It's a group of northern students. There's 2 students that are heading up the project. They were actually part of the Big Idea contest and actually have a business plan put in place for recycling. And what we've done is we've tasked them with recruiting up to 20 northern students to take the place of the folks that we were using for the sanitation contract. They'll
That
work-
explains position 18, position 19, and position 20.
I didn't want to scare anybody.
Nameless right now, right?
Nameless right now, yep.
Okay.
So we wanted to give them some freedom. They did a great job in the recruitment side and got 17 pretty quickly, and they're confident they can have, they actually just sent me an email as I was on my way over here, so we do have position 18 filled as well.
Is it the 2 on the top? Which 2 headed up?
It's Kenzie Thielen and Gabby Lamer, the first at the top of each of the columns. Both business students at Northern. We actually ran them through a business planning and strategy exercise to see could they get their head around labor needs, labor requirements, what do you need to look at. So now we'll look at the spreadsheet. The starting budget being $6,500, which is
That's
what we've
this
spent.
one.
That's this packet here. Yeah.
Okay.
On page 1. We've paid between $6,500 and $6,600 historically. So we looked at that and we said, okay, how many spots could we fill? We tried to keep them to a 25-hour work week, primarily for 2 reasons. One being that they were students, they'd probably want to take in the fair at some point. So we thought by pushing them to 40, we would have a lack of volunteers because we would be expecting them to basically work a full-time job during the fair. And then we also backed out what could be the effective pay rates that we could pay given a $6,500 budget. So that's what you're looking at here. We can actually get up to 21 positions and still be under budget. The last column is what would be remaining, with starting at the top at $6,500 and then subtracting each of the wages going down. So if you look at line 21, if we went to 21 employees, we still would save $283 even when you account for matching taxes. So the good news is we're only sitting at a potential max of 20, so we should be about $580 under budget.
You just took in FICA and MED, about unemployment taxes. You're going to have South Dakota unemployment taxes and stuff in there too.
Be 1.5, yeah. So even with that, we would still be under that, because at 1.5% it would be roughly
Is that what our rate
$70.
is? Is 1.5? The rates vary with different entities and
Oh,
different
do they?
jobs. Yeah.
Okay, I
And that's
apologize.
what, no, and that's what I was just asking if they're.
What is the salary per hour?
It's going to range $10.50 for the workers, $11.50 for the supervisors, and the 2 heads, which will be Gabby and Kenzie, who will be managing, will be 13.
There'll be 13,
They'll be 13, yeah.
and
They're gonna be
who's the
tasked with
managers would get?
Gabby Lamer and Kenzie Thielen. They'll be the top 2 on your list.
They get $13.50,
They would get 13.
and the managers.
The supervisors would get $11.50. That's going to be Olivia Thalen, Jessica Anderson. That'll be on pages 3 and 4 that are highlighted. Katie, I'm not even going to butcher her last name. I think it's Utenbacher.
Okay.
And then those would be the 3. So it would be the next 2 and position 2 on both column 1 and 2, and then Jessica Anderson is going to be in column 2. It would be position 14, so 4 from the bottom. And we have a tentative schedule that's also been worked out with them. We'll start a little bit lighter and earlier in the week, and we have lower traffic times. We'll start with 3 in the morning, and then we'll elevate and add more on in the evening time, which when we have most of our peak traffic. And we'll start to pick up and go to 5 in the evenings, starting on Wednesday.
Well, kudos to you for finding these folks and getting something going here if we can work out the logistics, because it's not the most glamorous job in the world. So for those folks to be willing to step up and do it. Larry?
Could I just ask a couple questions? What exactly will the job or jobs entail? What will they be doing?
Primarily to be cleaning the bathrooms, restocking paper, restocking toilet paper, restocking paper towel, sweeping out of the expo and the Odie at night with basically a large push broom. They're not going to be using any of like the power washers or anything like that. They'll be using hoses probably once a day to kind of hose down the floors.
No heavy lifting?
None, other than just lifting the boxes for like paper towels and stuff like that. But definitely under the, and most of these people are also athletes too as well. So, but not a lot of heavy lifting outside of just boxes of supplies. That'll be maybe once, twice a day.
And have we considered what Plan B might be if, as Rachel says, it's not a real glamorous job. They show up and say, "Oh, this isn't for me. It's hot. It's icky. I don't like to do it. I got better things to do," and they start dropping out. Do we have kind of a backup idea?
We do. Our contingency plan is there's we came across a maintenance company kind of late in the game about a week and a half ago, and he's actually agreed to clear a good portion of his schedule to be on standby, but that's at $22 per hour. So what we'll do is we'll use him to spot fill as we have some of those issues with people backing out. So then eventually
I was thinking
the
of
hope
colleges. I got 2 grandkids leaving for college in the middle of the week anyway, or for every week.
So we do have a contingency plan, but it's a little bit higher price tag. But we'll also work toward also maybe transitioning this contract to him if we have him on site and we find that his management of the process is. He seems to think that we are staffed a little heavier than we need to be, but sometimes that's easy to say when you're looking at trying to get a contract. So without him actually seeing what's going on during fair, but he thinks we could probably cut off 1 person per shift. So it seems reasonable what he's suggesting. So if we can do that, we'll transfer that over to him, and then maybe have these folks work for him next year. But this is our plan to get us through this year.
And all the paperwork for these employees will be done prior to the fair?
We'll be done prior to the fair, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We're going to be meeting with them on Thursday, pending the approval of if we are allowed to convert.
Questions or concerns for Derek?
Looks like a good plan.
Should be.
I'd entertain do you need a motion then, or is this something that?
You're hiring all these people.
Yeah, we would need a
Entertain a motion to go ahead and hire up to 20?
I'll move it.
Motion by Sutton. Seconded by Feldheim. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion carries. Good luck with that. Let us know how it goes.
Well,
Talk to us a little bit about ticket sales, if you would.
ticket sales. Yep, we're sitting just shy of 8,000. We're at about 7,950 right now. Total ticket sale across all events. We're sitting just south of about 250,000 in revenue. Historically, based on what we can see, we don't have the exact numbers because they're not as tight as they were for years past as they were for this year. And even last year our numbers were pretty solid too, but comparing last year's numbers to this year's numbers, on the automated side, we're about 1,000 tickets ahead. What we don't have is the projection for like Ken's and Kessler's. We'll have to work with Max after the fair to find out what they checked out at periodic dates, because it was a manual checkout process last year, and then we'll compare that against what they're sold this year. Because right now all of the tickets are lumped into one report. We are a little bit slow, and that slowdown came right around the time of the sale for the Monster Truck Show, so we were impacted by that, being that it was so close. So we'll probably have to revisit, do we want to have that event that close to the fair next year? Do I think it's going to hurt us on a large scale? No, I think we'll probably see those sales just come in a lot closer. So it'll be a little bit tighter as we come in because it's a discretionary income issue. you only have so much money to spend. And with a family event, if you paid to bring them there. Early projections, ticket sales based on just eyeballing counts, it was probably somewhere in the vicinity of, I would say, $65,000 for ticket revenue. If you look at your food revenue using some averages, it was probably another 15 to 18. So you're looking at almost 85 to 90,000 being taken out of the market at that time. So we may want to look at moving that earlier in the season if we're going to entertain it again. But I thought it was a good event. It just, we're seeing a slight impact. So.
Any questions for Derek about ticket sales? Okay. We wanted to talk a little bit about the ambulance deal.
Sure.
We're trying to get our heads around what's going on there. We had an email this week asking, hey, nobody told us that we had changed contracts.
Yeah.
Just wondering if you know, had anybody contacted them a week ago after?
Well, the action was taken at last week's commission meeting. We had tried to get to Dan at Aberdeen Ambulance for a couple of times. We did not have a phone number, just a physical address. And I did send an email to Dan too as well on this yesterday. His email that he sent to the office was stuck in my junk folder, so I saw it last night. I did respond to him. I plan on calling him. And I just sent him the email that we were hoping to have this conversation ahead of the commission vote last week. It does not appear that it was communicated to him prior to that. And then when we had addressed it at the commission meeting, we changed course at that point. From what is being told to me, and it's third party at this point because it came from Dan being told by somebody else, the fire department had actually made it a point to tell his group at National Night Out, and that's what created the stress point. He was reasonable, but he was also obviously, he was disappointed. I mean, as anyone would be finding out that way. So it was kind of just a matter of a perfect storm of, we took the issue on Tuesday, and then a couple of the fire department folks, according to Dan, had made it a point to mention it to his folks. So it was just not so much what was said, but how it was presented and how it was said. So they do have a physical location, but there's not a standard office or somebody in there all the time. So a couple of times that we did try to go by to have that conversation ahead of time, we were unsuccessful in finding anybody at that office. So.
Okay. When we called John to try to get him up here to kind of, so we can all understand where we're at with this, and he had emailed and said that they don't dispatch Aberdeen Ambulance. Now, I don't know if that means they can't or they just don't. So whether some of the points in the email that we received are valid, maybe we need to just sit down with everybody and figure out what we can and can't do at this point, because I think there's a lot of confusion. But
might I suggest an executive session to at least give you some legal advice about some of these points?
Sure.
I'll move up.
Moved by Sutton.
Second.
Seconded by Feldheim. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Release, they bought it,
Yeah.
and we need to see, so we can see if we're
No
getting
action
actual
as a
bucks for
result
it.
of the
Sure.
exec on legal. I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session for personnel.
Move.
Moved by Hanson, seconded by Feldheim. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Max, was I not paying attention? Did we do the Brown County 16 project,
The which one?
the notice to proceed?
I haven't got the documentation from Foothills yet.
Okay.
Yep.
No
No action?
action as a result of exec.
Okay.
Carol Sherman is
Carol,
Carol, of course.
Okay.
All right, and then did Derek hang out?
He's right in front of you.
Okay. We
Well, this Derek
apologize
is
that we took a while. Sorry about that.
I'd like to thank you for letting me sit in for Derek.
All right, you had a couple other things.
Yeah, and then the other office, the office staff, which was the first memo that got passed out that talks about the shifts and the times. Historically, the pay rate has been between 10.50 and 11, but the pay rate was bumped last year to 14, so kind of put us in a position where we have to continue at that pay scale to get the same group back. We may look at alternate options in the future, but I don't have any history as to the who, what, where, when, or why that was raised from 14 to 15, but I'm not sure if anybody has any.
And pending, still pending?
On the fourth one, we have an applicant who is going to be coming in today to.
Rehire again?
No, it would be a new.
And they will be in contact
They
with...
would be in contact with Gary. Yep. The fourth person has chosen not to return. So.
The night shift, how many hours do they put in? What do they-
Typically, they'll do like a 3 to 9 shift or a 4 to 9 shift generally, so between 5 or 6 hours.
Okay, any other questions on those 4?
You'll have that name for next week?
Yes, we may have to see what the protocol would be to act sooner than that if necessary, because the first workday would be Monday.
Can we just make a motion to approve the 4 positions so that it's done prior to the fair starting? I'm just asking.
Well,
Why don't we do the 3 and then we can retroactively do Tuesday,
Right.
whichever one you pick.
right,
Yeah.
because
whatever you
see,
do.
Aaron can't pay unless
Yep.
it's
Sure.
in
Yep.
minutes.
So entertain a
Okay.
motion to approve the top 3 positions, those folks, and then we'll just do the 4th Tuesday.
So moved.
Moved by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Feldheim. Any questions on that? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Anything else for us?
That's all I have.
All right,
Unless you have anything
apologize
else
for
for me.
keeping you waiting. Good luck with everything. Let us know what you need.
Thanks.
I have a question.
Sure, fire away.
When you have handicap parking on the east side of the Woody Arena, that's where handicap people that can't walk very well when they park out there. How does that get relayed to the people at the gate if there's room to park in that handicap?
That,
I mean, is
that
it a rid-
handicap section was relocated about 2 years ago. That space doesn't, or do you mean at the
Well,
in the parking
anybody
area?
that's handicapped, that, like, you got elderly people that can't walk from the dumpsters clear up to the fair,
Sure.
where can they be assured there'd be some kind of handicapped parking for them to go in and not get in there and find, oh, it's full, you gotta leave again? How are you communicating that? I guess that's my question. How do you get these handicapped people closer to the fair?
That's what we'd use the Avera carts for. There's an actual tent station on the east side parking lot where the handicap station is. So there's 6 carts that run continuously. This year we've actually gone from 4-seat golf carts to 6 and 8-seat golf carts, and those run continually. And the Avera folks have a radio. This year we've also added tent stops, so there'll be, for lack of a better term, a bus stop at key areas of the fairgrounds. There'll be one by the Kids Zone, one by Home Arts, and one by Grandstand, and then one by Kessler's. So there'll never be more than maybe 3 or 4 minute walk to a bus station, and those cars will run continually throughout.
But you're thinking if they come from the north, they park by the dumpster.
Right, how do they
have
get-
to go to the east side,
Right.
is what you're saying.
And I don't think that's very clear to some handicapped people,
Yeah.
because
Sure.
that was my question. I had a couple of elderly people approach me and said, well, geez, I can't hardly get to the fair because
Yeah.
they have to park clear at the other end of it, and they said they can't make the walk to the fair. And I'm saying, well, there's got to be a system where,
But we drive them in. We literally drop them off. If they come in gate D and park in the handicap parking area, and there's an entire row that's specifically dedicated to handicap parking.
so that's
we
the
literally
key, it's
drive
gate,
them in.
gate D.
Gate D, yep, and it's
But
marked
see,
in the
and
books.
that's, okay, that's what I need to know, is where
Yeah.
these people,
Yeah, it's marked in the book, and there's actually an ad right next to the map that talks about when the Avera carts run and where the location is
Okay.
to it. Well, I don't want to quote the wrong page on there, but there's a 2-page spread. It has the map, and then it has the Avera and first aid kind of all on the same page.
gate D is the key.
Gate D would be the key. Yep.
Okay, what if it's full though?
I'm sorry.
What if the lot is full?
It's historically it's never been completely
Okay.
full, but we're actually going to have sheriffs patrolling, and if people do not have a handicap placard or sticker,
Page
or,
18.
is it page 18? Okay,
Okay.
thank you. If they don't have an actual placard, license plate, or some sort of a hanger, we're actually going to be ticketing them because we did catch quite a few people trying to park in the handicap areas last year. So.
That's all I had. I just was curious
No,
about
that's
that.
okay. And I apologize, I misunderstood the question you were asking. I didn't realize they were parking like in the North 40. So.
Sounds great. Any other questions for Derek? Thank you much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks,
Check you
Derek.
soon.
Have a good day.
Get plenty of rest this week.
I'll put a bed in.
That's the end of our regular agenda.
Okay,
Any other
oh,
items? Yep,
I've got a couple.
please.
I didn't realize the security staff list was in the packet, and I didn't have it on my
I
list.
snuck it in there. That's my bad.
Oh,
Got it.
no worries. Yeah.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Sutton,
Second.
second by Hanson. Everybody get the chance to read those? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion carries.
Okay, Gary, on your memo to the commission, do you want to acknowledge Amber's resignation?
She hasn't given a formal date yet, so no, they just wanted to make sure that we included that in this interview process that we're starting, that second position, which I sent you all a note on.
She hasn't given a date yet?
No, not a specific date, but it will be by the end of the month, I
Oh,
believe,
okay.
so.
But you don't really need a date to acknowledge a resignation.
Don't we need to
You need a
know,
date to know when it's gonna happen.
to end the payroll,
Yeah.
don't we need a
Yeah.
date?
We always have did that, so.
Okay, so you want
This is
to,
just to acknowledge that that it's allowed that we can hire a second person in
okay,
this
do you want the
process.
motion to
Allow-
hire?
Yep,
because, okay, this was done, yeah, and you have the motion to
hire one.
hire one, but
Yeah.
not the other.
But we're
Exactly.
interviewing another.
Yeah, we're in the process and we're gonna start interviews this week, so.
I'll make a motion to authorize hiring a second person to fill the soon-to-be vacant position.
Okay, we got a motion on the table from Sutton. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Hanson. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Anything else? That's it. Gary?
Nope.
Anything from the commissioners?
I'll be leaving tomorrow. We've got our SDACC board meeting on tomorrow afternoon and Thursday, so if there's anything that you would like discussed, let me know. And
Resolutions Friday, right?
Resolutions Friday, yep, via conference call. We've only got 2 resolutions, 3 policy statements, so light agenda.
Sounds good. Anything from the folks in attendance today? All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Feldheim. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hanson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
And everyone saw
Motion
Dwayne's
carries.
picture in the county
Yep.
news?
Yeah, I made county news.
Awesome.
Busy at work.
Please sign one for me.